Hey, Nicotine, Symbolic, responding to your video. New Age religion. Is this an improvement? Yeah, it's an improvement. Doesn't sanction slavery, doesn't sanction genocide, et cetera, et cetera. Points you pointed out. I look at it all as an evasion of death. People evade death. Mankind is afraid to die, so he finds out all these different ways to convince himself that there's life after death in some form or another. I think most people, to avoid the void, would even be happy to be ghosts. They would choose to be a ghost. Yeah, man, let me be a ghost. Just don't let me disappear. And talking about ghosts, man, we would be knee deep in ghosts. We would be swimming. We'd have ghosts above our heads if there were ghosts. Everybody who's ever lived. What about all the animals? Every animal that's ever lived would have a ghost. Why not? Neanderthal man. What about the Neanderthal man ghost? There would be Neanderthal man ghosts all over. Nobody ever sees them, huh? Nobody ever sees. Sometimes people see a ghost dog, I suppose, but they never see a Neanderthal man ghost or dinosaur ghosts. They would be huge. They would be walking over us the whole time. So, and then maybe there would be, if it was a huge ocean of ghosts, maybe there would be an undertow that would pull us back and forth, huh? And what about all the sea creatures under the water? Would just be filled with ghosts. Can underwater ghosts swim? Do they swim? No? Or do ghosts have to walk the earth? Anyway, so that's the story there. So anything to avoid the idea of simply vanishing after death, of the film stopping, the film of your life stopping, and then just click, click, click. Anything to avoid that. People will go to all kinds of resorts, to avoid that. But so the New Age religions, I think they're doing a lot of that. They mix elements. Most of them actually don't have a god. Wicca's an exception. Of course, Wicca, I think, tends to root itself in the Middle Ages and root itself in some of the late 19th century Golden Dawn stuff as well, kind of mixing. It's all kind of a broth, so to speak. That has a goddess, so there's a New Age Wicca will still have a goddess, a divinity. Most of the others don't, though. It's some mixture of weird mixture of Hinduism and Neoplatonism is underneath a lot of this. None of the occult books will mention this, but they are founding so much on Neoplatonism, which actually I think Christianity displaced back in the days of the early Roman Empire or something like that. My history's a little weak on that. But hey, it's far more harmless. Yes, it's saccharine and narcissistic, but as long as people, consensual spirituality is as permissible as consensual sex, I guess. As long as people are not. What's dangerous is when people submerge their individual identity into a group identity, and you see this happen in small cult groups that have a charismatic leader. People submerge their individual identity into the group, and then oftentimes there's some violent end or some horrible suicide or something. But if you got this free-floating, free-form spirituality, I guess that's okay. Hey, man, interrupted by the phone. That means it's all over. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye. All right, back for final thought. Elephants seem to have a sense of death. At least they paw, not that they have paws, right? But they foot or paw bones and seem to mourn and they have elephant graveyards. But as far as we know, the elephants haven't developed a religion. So I don't know. Maybe they don't have a sense of their own personal death, just the death of other elephants. I don't know. But in any event, I think the whole thing arises, as I say, from a dread and avoidance of death. And as long as mankind tries to escape death and can't face the possibility of non-existence, that you're going to find these spiritual movements, and then when those sort of coalesce and fossilize into religions, organized religions, you get trouble. But in any event, as you pointed out, we definitely have an improvement, even though there's sort of a saccharine narcissism to it all. Hey, man, it's better than these fossilized ancient religions that condone slavery, genocide, oppression of various forms, restrictive roles for people. I could go on and on. That's the story, man. Good talking to you. Symbolic out.